Back in a different room.
We're back.
Welcome back, Dan.
All right.
I think it's your turn to take a hit at the...
Our lovely evidence. Okay. We're going to talk to you about the Pentagon.
It's a good one.
It is. So... Okay. Joe Rogan interviewed a man named Commander David Fravor. He was a pilot off the USS Nimitz. Very famous, very credible, no bad history. Everything he said was absolutely true. And there's video evidence to show you. So his encounter with the UFO was back in 2004. They were 60 miles off the coast between San Diego and Mexico. They were doing training for going into battle because they were about to go to the Middle East. So they're doing training, and before they left, the radar guys called them in and said, "Oh, we've been tracking these objects for 2 weeks." They dropped from 80,000 feet, which in the podcast with Joe Rogan, he described 80,000 feet. You can see the curvature of the Earth. So, outer space. Pretty much. And then they dropped down to 20,000 feet, and then they'd go back up, and they did that for 2 weeks. The only reason they didn't encounter them was because there was no threats to the U.S. They didn't make any threats. They just went up and down for 2 weeks. So as they take off from the what's it called? Nimitz. They get, right before the training exercise begins, they get called to go check out this object that is, I think, like another 30-60 miles from where they are. So they go over there, they fly over there, and Commander Favor's in the front seat, and then his gunman's behind him, and then there's a female pilot in the other fighter jet that he's in, and then she has her gunman behind her. So they go over, and they see this large cross-like or plane-like object. I think he described it.
Sorry.
I think he described this object as looking as big as like a 737 or 747, and then it looked like a cross. So he saw that in the water, and the other three saw it as well. And they're like, "That's weird." And as they looked down, it was moving like a tic-tac, like going just
sideways, forward, back, forth, cross.
Yeah, literally fast motion, nothing like he's ever seen in his life. And this is all true. Go watch the podcast. They show video of it. Really great stuff. So they see it, and then Commander Fravor and his aircraft move down to about 20,000 feet. The other one stays above him, and there's a UFO that comes out, and it matches every single movement that he does. Whichever way he turns, it turns. If he, matching nose to nose, any movement he does, it matches him. And he's like, "This is really weird." So they're recording this the entire time. I'll show you the video. Here it is. So, you want to hold this?
I'd love to.
All right. This is the video.
This is a U.S. released government's
by the
Tic
Pentagon.
Tac UFO declassified video.
This is by the Pentagon, released. Oh, yeah, that glare, huh? So that's the UFO right there.
going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude. That's not LNS though, is it? It's not. It is LNS, dude. Well, if there's a thing, it's rotating.
That's it right there.
No, I took an auto card. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, dude.
This is actually Commander Fravor's one. Okay.
You want this back? So with that, that's just like enough in itself for me at least to believe that there's something out there, even with such high command of Air Force operations, chasing an object that they don't even know what it is. And if this object can move in a blink, like just in a snap, going from 80,000 to 20,000, and they're as blown away as we are, that's just enough proof for me to like believe that it's like, what is that thing? Where's it from? Who's flying it? Where's it coming from? It can't be from this world because we've never seen technology like that. So
Yeah, and also when he was on the podcast with Joe, when Commander Fravor saw his UFO, as the video, I believe it's like 10 minutes, and so they were watching it, and then in a blink of an eye it was just gone, and everything was gone, nothing else was there, and then it was back to the place where they originally started from, like where they originally had their drill to do. That's where it went to. And then in the first video of the video I just showed you was another one, I believe it was in 2015, something like that, and that one was off the coast of New York on the East Coast, and there was like a fleet of them. So you had the one that you saw, and then there were 6 or 7 other ones behind it that you can't see. So when they took that video, that glow around it was, I believe it was like a protective shield, because all their radar and stuff, like they couldn't pick up anything. So like the UFO took down their radar, and though in the video, I've seen like the full video on that one, it rotates mechanically and then goes away. So it rotates the belly side up and then flies away. And those videos, to me, after I watched the Bob Lazar podcast, I started believing it more, but seeing those videos was like, some people have debunked it and said, oh, it's just a normal plane, it's a bird. It's not. No bird moves mechanically like that. No airplane moves like that. It's a UFO. They're coming to the Earth. They've been here for...
They're gonna kill us.
They're gonna kill us. We're all gonna die.
I'm kidding. They won't kill us.
They've been here for years and
Yeah.
centuries probably.
Yeah.
And the first video you saw, 60 to 70 people have seen other occurrences like that. In Russia, one of the generals ordered to all of their planes, if they see any flashing lights in the sky, to go find them. 2 of those pilots died chasing after different flashing lights in the sky while they're flying. They went to where all their nuclear bombs are. They took down all the electrical, shut down all the lights. The nuclear bombs started coming apart, and then in a second everything was back to normal. And there's more on that with the author or the interviewer about Bob Lazar on another Joe Rogan podcast with George Knapp. That one's really interesting as well. But yeah, the Pentagon had all this stuff and they just released it to show that there is something else flying around besides our airplanes and stuff. So yeah, I know it may sound like we're talking about
Bunch of woo-woo
a
stuff.
bunch of random stuff, but if you look up the videos, it's pretty convincing. I know some of you don't like Joe Rogan, but just mute the audio and turn on the crappy YouTube subtitles. You can just listen to the words, you know?
You not like Joe Rogan.
Some people don't, man.
Dude, he's a great guy.
Jake, do you have any information?
You know, I'm looking up some stuff, but
Okay.
so there's this one thing. This is just random.
I don't think we need the mic.
I don't think so either. It's called the Serpent Mound, and I think it's in Ohio. Where is it? This is archaeology stuff. Yeah, in Pebbles, Ohio. Oh, that's the nearest city. This is a giant snake, like, formation in the earth, and I watched a video on this thing, and it's 1,300 feet long. It's huge. Around 4 feet high. These hills are 4 feet high that form the snake. Just like big, oval looking things. And if you look at it through a plane, it looks like a snake, and it has its head and it has its tail. In this position, the head points due north, like directly north, and during the summer solstice, the sun aligns perfectly with the head on sunset. So with this, like, how could people, I don't even know when it was formed. Let's see, when was it built? There's no way of knowing because it was such a long time ago. When was it built? When was it built? 321 BC. 321 BC. Built then. If this lines up perfectly with the sun on sunset on summer solstice, the longest day of the year, what kind of technology would they have to know that this is directly aligned with the sun on one day and then true north, and then just build it so big where you don't see it as it is when you're standing there, but you see it differently as it is in the sky. Kind of just blows my mind with that technology. Like, how could a human control that technology and build that stuff? So that's just a site that's in Ohio. You can go look it up. If you want to go see it too, you can. It's in our state, so that's one thing.
About the videos I showed you, one of the Pentagon spokesperson said, after thorough review, the department has determined that the authorized release of these unclassified videos, does not reveal any sensitive capabilities or systems in a statement, and does not impinge on any subsequent investigations of military airspace incursions by unidentified aerial
phenomena.
Yeah. The Navy videos were first released between December 2017 and March 2018. In 2017, one of the pilots who saw the unidentified objects in 2004 said that it moved in ways he couldn't explain. As I got close to it, it rapidly accelerated to the south and disappeared in less than 2 seconds, said retired U.S. Navy pilot David Fravor. This was extremely abrupt, like a ping pong ball bouncing off a wall. It would hit and go the other way.
Oh,
Very interesting.
super duper.
Mm-hmm.
Another interesting fact that kind of blows my mind is, so the Pyramid of Giza, or the pyramids.
Is this even about aliens?
Yeah, dude. Well, that's what I think. But
Just want to make sure.
it's however you want to think of it. But so there's already the question of, how did the Egyptians build the pyramids? What kind of technology did they have? And a lot of people.
Are these the questions you're asking our viewers?
It could be, yes, if you want to think about it. If you want to be a open mind thinker and not a closed minded thinker, then you have the right to do that. So how did they build the pyramids? What technology did they have? A lot of people don't know. This is the same with the Stonehenge, same with the Easter Island big head guys, you know? Like, how did they build them? How did they get there? Why are they there? Who
clay.
Who put them there? How did they walk them on those mountains? Dude,
He's built clay.
they're like 8,000 pounds.
How much I lift?
Yeah, I could bench that.
You're so funny.
But this one is for the pyramids of Giza. So, with the coordinates of the pyramids, they all line up with the Orion's belt. With the biggest pyramid there is in the group, the coordinate of the pyramid is 29.9792485 north. Guess what the speed of light is? Speed of light is the same exact number. How did they do that? How did they line it up?
Aliens.
How did they line it up exactly to the speed of light? And how did they know the speed of light back? When did they build the pyramids?
Another
Let's
interesting
see.
fact, while Jake looks up
Go
more
for it.
background to back him up. There was another video, the second video that you saw of the object moving across the water. In one of the podcasts I watched, one of famous documenter, Jeremy Corbell, who made the documentary about Bob Lazar, who's made a bunch of different documentaries about aliens and has interviewed people, having people come out who used to work at S4, blah, blah, blah. That one was described as, people thought it was a bird, but the scientific facts behind it is that it was colder. It was hot, but the material was colder than the ocean, which is nearly impossible for a bird to be colder than the ocean because it would have hypothermia and die. So just think about that. An object moving across the water, colder than the ocean. What could it be? A UFO?
That's a good question. So along with other ancient artifacts, but the pyramids were built between 2,550 to 2,490 BC. It's a long ass time ago, dude.
That makes sense.
Because it goes back, because it's BC.
I'm not that smart.
So how did they have that technology to line up their coordinate with the speed of light? And do you think it was coincidence, or do you think it was a part of the plan? Because those took a long time to build. So it must have been planned out. In my mind, it must have been planned out that there was some other source telling them, like, this is where you should build it.
Or helping them.
Yeah, or helping them.
Either one.
And another ancient artifact, there's a ton of ancient artifacts on alien UFO stuff. It could be like depictions of in stone. It could be like those paintings on the caves, caveman things. You guys know what I'm talking about. I don't need to act all smart or whatever. Depictions in prehistoric drawings for like pharaoh tombs. To me, this looks like a helicopter. Oh yeah, look at that. Tell me that doesn't look like a helicopter, and tell me that doesn't look like a UFO. And this was in the same date that I just told you, 2550 BC. That to me blows my mind. How could they know that stuff? How could they create it in their minds without seeing it with their eyes? And one more thing.
Ha!
Ouch.
You're fine.
This last one is a gold like medallion that was built. You want to look closer? An ancient Quimbaya gold. I can't pronounce it.
Kumbaya.
Is it Kumbaya?
I don't know. Let's just make it up.
It probably is Kumbaya. It looks like a little fish with wings, but not. So this thing here. Sorry for that glare.
No, the glare's grade A.
Oh yeah, grade A.
Grade A glare.
Grade A glare. So that plane they dug up in
Doug.
Goes like that. In the Amazonian forest.
Amazon.
Amazonian forest. So more
Okay,
artifacts of if these were ancient tribes or villages and they had these artifacts, where did they get this information from? How did they create it? How did they make it? And I saw a video on that plane I showed you. Some engineers built a scale model of it out of like foam and wood, and they threw it like a paper airplane and it flew. So if they could create something in their ancient times that actually flew way before plane technology, way before that technology, how did they get that information? How did they make something from their mind with that information and knowing that it had the technology to fly? How did they do that? Where did they get it from? Who did they get it from? It's just, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me that they could just create something like that could fly before having technology before even like making wheels or electricity or anything like that. So that's just me, but if you don't want to believe it, you don't have to, but it just doesn't make sense if they don't have the right technology to create certain stuff. It's everywhere. It's seen everywhere. People like, oh, look at this thing. This thing's famous. Tell me. Ancient artifact drawing. That's a little spaceman right there. Look at him. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Look at him flying in his little UFO. They had these outside sources, these technologies to get information, but from who? Who are they getting this information from? Ancient aliens, that's the answer. Skinwalker Ranch.
Gotcha.
Great, next topic. We'll start that now.
Skinwalker Ranch is in.
Spooky place, Tuna, Utah.
Where is Skinwalker Ranch? Oh, yeah. Thanks for not telling me.
Ballard, Utah.
Yeah.
Southeast of Ballard, Utah.
Skinwalker Ranch is in Utah.
Skinwalker Ranch is also known as Sherman Ranch. It is approximately located 512 acres southeast of Ballard Ranch, Utah. And is, you want to go?
Also, on your way there, you pass by Area 51.
Isn't that a coincidence? I think not.
Try and get into Area 51, you will die.
Yeah, raid Area 51, 2020,
We already did that.
2019.
Yep.
Is it 2019?
Yeah. So, Skinwalker Ranch, very, very interesting.
Has a very paranormal reputation.
Very. All the owners there have had problems with the ranch.
Oh. Can't read that word, so I'm not gonna read it. History of odd events said to have taken place according to the Keller and Knapp. Knapp. That's that guy.
Knapp.
They saw or investigated evidence of close to 100 inches that included vanishing and mutilated cattle. Sightings of unidentified flying orbs or objects. Jesus. Objects. Large animals with piercing red eyes that they say were unscathed when struck by bullets. That big fox, the wolf.
Yeah, dude.
You hear that video?
I've seen the documentary.
Pretty gnarly. If I say anything, don't watch videos of Skinwalker Ranch at night.
I did it.
It's scary.
There's a documentary on YouTube. There's also an 8-episode series on the History Channel about Skinwalker Ranch. Many people have visited it. It was the first people to move in was in 1994. Well, it's also called Sherman Ranch. When they, after 2 years of living there, they had increasingly terrifying paranormal events. When they moved in, there was deadbolts on doors and windows that puzzled them. They also found large chains outside that looked like they may have been for the purpose of restraining a heavy animal. They experienced multiple cattle mutilations, which is true. There is photo evidence of that. They had crop circles. They had voices calling from nowhere. Inanimate objects moving before their eyes, UFOs, and seeing strange birds and other animals on the property. They saw a wolf attacking one of their cattle. They shot the wolf multiple times. The wolf did not react to their gunshots. Kind of sus, huh?
The wolf was like 5 foot tall too.
Wolf was OP.
It was massive.
They saw a field that lit up like a football stadium. There was a UFO that was larger than 2 football fields and had apparent alien figures over 7 feet tall. Unfortunately, there is no evidence of this, but there have been, I think the group called Nimitz went there and they had cameras there. They set up cameras. There's video footage of one of their cameras on a telephone pole, and then you can see in the footage that it just randomly gets crushed into pieces from another camera. There is photos of cows being mutilated with perfect surgical cuts. They had no blood at all. All the blood was gone. They had 2 different, what are they called?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Whatever the name is called for people that look up how they died.
Corners?
No, but it's for animals.
Animal corners?
Sure, we'll say that. They had 2 different of those people look at it and said that it couldn't have been done by an animal. That their cuts, one of them was by a scalpel, and the other one is done by another very sharp and precise surgical tool that an animal would have just ripped it to shreds. I'll actually show you a picture. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, if you want to see a picture. It's so great.
It's pretty cool. So this is the cow.
Viewers' discretion advised.
Yeah, it's not that bad. That's the cow that was killed. That's one of the photo evidence that one of the cows was killed on Skinwalker Ranch. So there you go. There's that. In another podcast, talking about Skinwalker Ranch, there was the second family that moved in there, the Bigelows. They were so scared that eventually they all just sleep on the floor together. in a circle because of how scared they were that they were all gonna die. The Nimitz group didn't come in until about 2004. He had called them out multiple times. Here's a trailer actually for the Skinwalker Ranch. It's rated R, so all you kids watching this.
I'll turn it up.
That's his son. And look how he just disappears. Gone, just like that.
It's also a movie, so.
Huh? It's also a movie.
Whatever this thing is, I believe it's still here, and it's really smart.
I got most detectives across most of the property, so if something moves, we're gonna know about it.
This is not natural death. These incisions, they're perfect.
It's the tape from the public tape, 11/11 every night.
Give me tell.
Great what time? 11:09. 10. What are you guys doing?
I didn't see the whole thing. I've seen the movie, but in the trailer, the vet, I guess you could say, she described the cow that died, perfect surgical cuts. So unless one of them did it, which I
But
doubt.
where'd the guts go?
Exactly. There was no blood found, nothing. What else?
I saw a video that the Nimitz posted had like video footage of an object flying through the trees. It was a very small orb looking object, and a cow directly under the tree. This object just flew and then kind of sat in the tree, and the cow that was directly under the tree just fell dead. And then the object flew straight up and was gone. They went to go look at the cow and it was just totally dead. Like, didn't touch it, wasn't even close, just like whatever that object had to, like, it's just energy and its presence just killed the cow right away. So that kind of just like threw me off a bit. I didn't know what it was, I didn't know what happened to the cow. Just weird stuff. A lot of paranormal, extraterrestrial things.
There's also a bunch of other ranchers around Skinwalker were experiencing the same thing with cow mutilations. Same thing, no blood found, no guts, nothing. There was also a story that on the ranch they had 5 giant bulls, like perfect bulls. And there was one night or there was one day where they were there, and I think they left for like an hour and a half, oh no, 30 minutes. They were doing something else for 30 minutes, and they came back and the bulls were gone. And they found them in a small little trailer that can't fit 5 bulls that weigh over 1,000 pounds. The bulls were fit there perfectly. Like perfectly placed, everything was perfectly placed. There was wire around the door that was impossible to get through. And then in like the next 5 minutes, the bulls were just released. But that happened in a span of 30 minutes while they were working on something else. So, unless you got 5 strong men to move bulls like that,
It's aliens, dude.
it's aliens. Yeah, that's all we got.
That's all I got too.
You have anything to say to the viewers?
Definitely do your own research because Aiden and I aren't the most
We're not professionals.
professionals. There's a ton of information. Joe Rogan has a ton of stuff. Look up Bob Lazar, look up Tic Tac UFO, look up Skinwalker Ranch videos. Yeah. do your own research if you really feel the need to.
We did our own research.
There's a lot of government-related artifacts, government-related documents, videos that are released of UFO sightings, of other things, paranormal activities. What causes these paranormal activities? There has to be an outside source, and I guess it's our job to search and find the truth. So that's up to you guys to find what you think is true. And yeah, but aliens are real, so just believe that. And yeah.
We did our own research over last week. We had some information before, but we wanted to get more information, so I watched 3 podcasts again and again just to really know that I had all the information. Watched the Skinwalker Ranch documentary, looked up stuff about that. We're not professionals. You know, we're doing this for fun.
Yeah.
And aliens interest us. So
You ever just like look up at the stars at night and believe what's out there?
yeah.
I know all these Christians out here, like, we're the only ones, but that's false. Because in our universe, once that universe is gone, there's more out there. It's not that our universe is the end of that, whatever it is in space.
Yeah, so look up the videos. There's no way a bird can move mechanically on its belly and fly. It's not possible
Impossible.
unless it's a mechanical bird.
Birds work for the bourgeoisie.
But even that, you know, the videos tell you something, especially since they're dropping from the point where you can see the curvature of the Earth. That's outer space.
Space. I love that place.
Alright, so next week we'll have a video, probably next weekend, with our boy Ryan King, talking about the Big Brother theory. So that's also very...
I have no clue what the Big Brother theory is.
You do. I'll tell you about it.
Alright, cool.
But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. This will be going to my second channel, which is The Big Tuna Show, since this is The Big Tuna Show with Jake. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe. Ask us any questions. Don't hate on us.
Yeah, so ask us questions in the comments and we'll respond.
Tell someone you love them. Tell someone to have a great day. Stay safe. Wear your mask. Wear gloves. Give someone a kiss.